Yesterday's video, we were briefly looking at the weekly and the daily time frames, mainly showing how when the weekly does curl down, it is very likely to be some sort of pullback. But we also considered the fact that we are turning to the upside on the daily chart, which opens the door to some critical levels, those levels being 776.89. And even if we wanted to get there, the really risky level, the level that says by the options market that this would be the top or where we start to make major reversal signals would be at 796.10. So this market is curling to the upside, barring any kind of failure. We're going to talk about those shorter time frames today on those 2 hour and 30-minute charts. We're going to get you those updated daily and weekly expected moves. So let's get started the daily chart, I think we need to consider that this can be an area where we are very likely to reject. So as long as we all are clear on that, we're very, very good. But we have curled up that MACD down there. So that's fantastic. And pretty much what we're trying to solve here is this kind of going to be like the last big push of 2026 before we hit some major resistance level and start to do some kind of weekly corrective move? Or are we going to fail that before those levels? So we will be watching the signals closely and make sure you are subscribed with those notifications on to join us for our live shows Monday through Wednesday. And every single night I try my best with the kiddos to put out a YouTube video. All right. But this is a very good daily time frame. This is what told us when we got that confirmation right over here. We said we should be looking for 2 hour pullbacks, and we get a little 2 hour pullback. That's exactly what we saw here for a brief moment. This was a very, very simple way to look at it because one, we talked about the potential 30-minute divergences here for a trade to that weekly expected move. But we also talked about the fact that if the 2 hour is able to carve out the higher low, the daily chart's curled up. So that means that we can continue. So we will consider anything going on right here. And we notice that the weekly expected moves have kind of touched in a bit. So we do have the weekly expected moves getting a little bit tight. What I like to say about that is kind of like Bollinger Bands, right? Bollinger Bands, when these weekly moves start to get tight, it's a little bit more probable, I think, to start to look out for a surprise. It is a good time to look out for a surprise once they get tight. Now, this isn't the tightest we've seen ranges before a big move, but I am suggesting that with the breakout, we need to consider on this 2 hour chart extension up to 765.06, your weekly expected upside move. And if we are going to curl down, well, we can be open to a surprise, but the market overall is suggesting that 744.84 would be a good level to watch. The reason that you would want to be a little bit careful of this 2 hour crossing down is you don't know if this is some kind of wonky divergence down here on the MACD and RSI, so you don't really want to deal with it. Yeah, I don't think volatility is necessarily saying that this is highly probable to be a massive reversal over here, but we will be taking a look at that towards the end of the video. Let's get into the 30-minute chart here and say what actually needs to be said, which is the 30 minutes extremely positive again, guys. So if the 30-minute is extremely positive, not extreme, we have failed from these areas before. The key thing here is understanding that this move down isn't what I want to buy. It's when this proves that it wants to go back up in positive territory. It's when it proves that it wants to make some sort of structure over here to head to the upside. It proves on the confirmation. So overall, the 2 hours suggests we should extend to the upward weekly expected move. And the 30-minute isn't really disagreeing with that. We don't see any trap signals. We see that if your daily expected moves came into attack, if you're going to keep squeezing in some fashion, 758.69 to the upside. As this looks a little bit algorithmic, I would look for, and because I believe no, never mind. I had a thought for a second, but I don't think it makes sense. But if we look at 751.21, then we would say, oh, what if that pulls back to the center line and curls up into positive territory? This could be potential opportunity. Obviously, with a MACD up in this position, we should be looking for pullback opportunities. But it is very clear, and I'm trying to make it clear, that an opportunity should be, taken when you actually have the reason confirming in front of you, just so we are clear. The SPY looks pretty good here. We just have to see if this is going to fail this week. That's why we're doing live shows Monday through Wednesday, and I hope you consider subscribing and joining us as we switch over to the Qs. You guys know me. I like to do things a little bit forward, a little bit backwards. My little brain needs some fun while I analyze. So I'm going to do this a little backwards here. The 30-minute, we noticed that those 30-minute divergences led to the 2-hour move that we were overall looking for. I was looking for us to tap above this level, so I am currently out of the Qs as of right now, just so you are aware. This is exactly what my plan was. This is exactly what my plan was said to be, and boom, we execute. It's very, very nice. And I can stay out of any kind of weekend risk when I'm seeing some just wonky stuff from the MACD here. Now, this still is a little bit elevated position. We have failed from higher positions before. Notice you pull back. You do not confirm to the upside. No confirmation on the MACD. One slight confirmation on the RSI, but one bar like this really doesn't convince me. I like to wait for that MACD, and I'm not taking 30-minute swing trades. I'm taking 2-hour swing trades for the most part. But this 30-minute going positive here, it means yes, if that's curled down, it's not necessarily an opportunity. But if it curls down and hits that 718.16, your daily downside move, and you're able to catch some buyers in that area off the 5-day moving average, and you actually see that confirmed to the upside on your MACD and everything, well, that could be an opportunity to get this all the way to 744.37, your weekly expected move. Okay, so as of right now, your daily expected moves would kind of be like, hey, if we're going to squeeze higher tomorrow than 732.86, if we're going to pull back in some way, 718.16, if we pull back too far and we start to make lower highs and stuff like that, that's when we'll really pay attention to the lower expected move. That lower expected move should be thought about if the 2-hour chart is able to curl down, and you notice that the Qs are at a riskier spot for the 2-hour chart in my book. The Qs, if they curl down, they will be directly negative, which means you are at risk of testing the low, going and making a new one. But the options market is suggesting that 706.65 is a good level to watch for. That means if we make a sneaky higher low over here, right, we're always trading like water. This means bad. If it fails, it means pretty good, right? That's kind of how it goes. So if we are just going to extend in this move, though, then that would be where we look for that 744.37. If we flip over to the daily chart really, really briefly, this one has not curled up, but it is by the center line. It's geared up. We have piled up for a long time. We've gotten tight in this. We've made some fake outs up, fake outs down. We're ready for the big move is what really seems to be going here. Is that big move going to be enough to not create some kind of divergence on this daily MACD? Or are we going to be able to squeeze through, get to that monthly expected move for a couple more pushes so that the SPY can get to its annual expected move, this pink line, right? We already told you at these levels it was going to be resistance. It was resistance again. And then we tell you also that and these are just things that I like tell myself, even like I'm not saying like, oh, I tell you these things. I'm saying I tell myself these things too. I just go, well, if the SPY is going to get to its annual expected move, it's not there yet. So it's very likely to use this as some sort of resistance. And then we're likely to maybe break through at some point. Is the weekly pullback coming first, or are we just going to break through on the daily because we're so positive up here? That's kind of the key points here. The divergences over here have held as of this point, but if that daily MACD is able to curl up, then that would be a complete violation of that. And that means extension can happen and we can get to that annual expected move for the SPY. So let's go check out IWM real quick and see what's over there because it is completely different. And this is what makes IWM completely different. The complete tapering of this, no real breakouts to extend, no breakouts like this, right? No direction like this, just pretty much tapered all the way up, creating a bunch of weakness and momentum here as you get to what? As you get to the annual expected move. So we want to consider that these have confirmed and they have not unconfirmed, and you have quadruple divergence down there on the RSI. So this is not a very good signal to be messing with as of right now. And when you do get this to confirm, what makes it go wrong is the 2-hour chart's able to curl up and it's never able to curl down, starts to go positive. So we would like to see a rejection in here of some sort. That would be very, very nice. But IWM is heavily leaning towards the weekly pullback in some fashion. We will see what takes place with this. But as of right now, going into the 2-hour chart, we notice that we're curled up in negative territory. So this is the rejection that I'm kind of talking about. We would need to break the lows, right? We cleanly finally break those lows. And then we would like to see rejection here if this is able to climb higher and higher, if the 30-minute never fails here and that just curls to the upside, well, then test the high, go make a new one. We have a shot at recovering. But as of right now, I think with the daily divergences, I think IWM can do some funky stuff. But at the end of the day, I think it's really screaming, hey, we're going to see some sort of weekly pullback. Is that going to stall out and go sideways? Is it going to go a little bit higher so that the SPY can get to its annual expected move? We'll see. Or is IWM going to kind of really start to fall off and the SPY and the Qs actually extend because we're getting a little bit of rotation at the end of this, what I would call bull cycle here before we see um, some kind of correction for the weekly chart, some kind of, 5 to, I would say 20, even 20% correction there for the weekly chart. So as of right now, IWM has the worst signals. IWM, all it has to do is reject on the 2-hour chart. If you are looking for some 30-minute levels to follow on the daily expected moves, you can look at 298.42 to the upside, and you can look at 293.56 to the downside. But I just want to do my due diligence here for you and just say this is the annual expected move, and IWM looks the riskiest as of right now. But talking about risk, we like to look at volatility, so let's go check out volatility and see what we can figure out over there. Maybe we can wrap it all together with a nice cherry on top at the end. This is important when we look at volatility to say at the beginning, conditions can change. We should be ready to react if we start to see higher lows from the VIX, if we start to see lower highs from the SPY. If we start to see bad things, then we should be reanalyzing those things. And that's where the live show is great. If you'd like to join us, we're going to do that during the live show if we get any kind of surprise in the first couple hours of the morning. But the reason I'm saying that is because the conditions here are we're going to continue to go to the upside. That's the condition here for at least the 30-minute chart. Now, I want to do this a little bit backwards, or I guess forwards, because this is how I'm supposed to do it. The daily chart here, if that ever curls up right now, it's still risky, right? We still have this signal intact over here. So until this signal fully goes away, I'm not saying we're going to be bullish for the next, like all the way into the end of the year, right? Until this signal goes away, I can't really say those things. This looks like we are more likely building some kind of trap into Vixpiration, in my opinion, maybe a little bit before. So I want to pay attention to that. But this is a critical signal. You still have the divergence intact on the MACD, and you have a pretty good amount of room. If I can double click on this, you have a pretty good amount of room to make that divergence, right? This could technically come all the way down into here and still be pretty significant. You notice that would just that right there would take you into Vixpiration. So that is something that you need to consider is a divergence here. We're still watching for that, but remember the weekly chart's going more negative every week. If we go negative again for 2 more weeks, we're going to be just a little bit deeper maybe. And if we're just a little bit deeper and we curl to the upside with those daily divergences, well, this is going to be a little more negative, which means we'll be looking for the lower high. There's your weekly correction right there. There's your weekly pullback right there. But we don't mess around during this stage if that takes place. I want to make sure to give you the full analysis there on the daily chart for the VIX futures because I think it's important. But I'm going to switch back over to the VIX itself for the 2-hour chart because like 90% of the time, VIX is going to tell you what's happening, at least mitigate a lot of risk. If the 2-hour chart's able to curl up right this second, we notice that the MACD is really violating the divergences and going negative. We notice that the RSI is really about to violate, not violating totally, but pretty much a violation coming soon. We'll see if that takes place. But remember, we looked at the 30-minute chart. This is showing no turnaround signals. I mean, look at this MACD, or look at this RSI. We can get a counterbalance. We can get some kind of dead cat at this point for the VIX. But as of right now, the only thing you're hanging your hat on is a small divergence right over here. And you notice that in the past, we've made divergences and needed to make triple. We failed. We needed to make higher low. We failed. And then we make a low over here. We failed. So pretty much, I would like to see us maybe even break this down and then start to see some kind of divergence over here for a 2-hour pullback, but we'll see what the market shapes up for us. We should be looking for 30-minute pullbacks. And as of right now, if that is your 2-hour pullback, then you might be within that opportunity right this second. So 30-minute pullbacks should lead to buyer demand. I'm not necessarily seeing anything from VIX that says, hey, this is some kind of massive weekend trap. If we saw a signal for a massive weekend trap, it would very likely have been, I don't know, around these type of areas. We probably would have made A little bit of work in here, seen a bounce, and then rolled to the downside to just make that easy divergence right here. But we did not end up doing that. We failed, so it's very likely that we need to remake signals, which can buy you a lot of time down in these areas to get to the expiration. So I wanted to consider that. Let's switch over to the SPY and give you the main takeaway. The main takeaway here is that the 2 hour chart is still risky. If the 2 hour chart is curling down for the SPY, you look at it, it looks risky right now, but we noticed that the VIX was kind of agreeing with the SPY here, at least from a MACD standpoint, at least from a reversal signal standpoint. We do not see anything that is extremely risky going into next week, but we're aware that those things can pop up. And so we're ready to be adaptable. But as of right now, it looks like everything is pointing towards, hey, we're either going to keep squeezing or we're going to see little 30-minute pullbacks that then continues the squeeze once grabbing some buyers. So that seems to be the most probable. If you're looking to learn or anything like that, there's some material down in the description if you want to check it out for the 80% off summer sale. But other than that, guys, I really hope you guys do join us for the live show Monday through Wednesday so that we can hang out, talk about stocks, and learn a little bit together. That would be fantastic. Thank you guys so much and have a great rest of your day. Peace out.